job.
Welcome to episode 3 of our island park build. But this episode is not actually a park build because after a week and a half since the last episode, I couldn't get the Xbox to work again with the video transfer. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to show you a tour of what I built. I think this episode, what we built, looked pretty good. It kind of starts to stray away from the original theming that I wanted, but I think it has a lot of potential for it to be a great park so far. Very sorry about that. But here, yeah, you can see a little bit of a cinematic shot of what we built in the first episode. That little section with the viewing galleries is what's going to lead into this area we built. I ended up putting the Suchomimus in that habitat that I asked what I should put there, and you guys suggested Metricanthrosaurus, which I did like the suggestion, but I thought of somewhere else to put it in this park, so we are going to have Metri in this park probably next episode. But anyways, yeah, there's just your cinematic view. I'll go ahead and hop down onto the ground so we can tour this. Okay, so yeah, here you are at the first parts. I tried to leave this a little more open with more grass, and I tried to focus on the rock work for this episode because my rock work's not very good. Here's just a ground view into the Suchomimus habitat, but we have a lot of ways to see the Suchomimus. I forgot to put guest stupidity barriers here like I normally do, but it's fine. Yeah, I also tried to use a lot of these plants and fill in the space with the ground foliage. This is our Moros intrepidus habitat. It's a little big for the Moros because they're tiny, but there's 10 of them in there, so I think it's fine. This habitat on our left is actually empty right now. Tell me what to put in there. I'm thinking maybe a small herbivore. I wasn't sure, and I want you guys to have some input. So yeah, tell me what to put in there. This little hill that I had this extra space, so I made it into a hill so you can ride the zip line across the Suchomimus habitat, and I put the Jurassic Park fence there, which I think looks pretty good. This section overall, actually, I didn't really have the room to do what I wanted to, so it doesn't look great. But, you know, it's fine. It serves its purpose. It just has a queue so you can ride the zip line down to the hotel section. Realistically, we should have 2 zip lines so you can go from your hotel section to here. But the zip line was ridiculously tall when I switched it. So just use your imagination and say it works the other way. But this is back in the hotel section that we built last episode, where I had a little garden with a fountain here, but I put the zipline building there so that you can look into the fence of the Suchomimus habitat and then immediately jump over it. We have a lot of ways to view the Suchomimus habitat through those windows, the zipline, the guest view here, the research platform, the path view there, and there. I'm going to go ahead and hop back down on the grounds. This area looks a little more open, and this is where I said I was going to try to not use the fluffy bush everywhere, but I did. And just because there was a lot of space I had to fill in. I tried to use the rocks for the habitat here. I was going to use the glitch to clip them together, but it was going to take a while, so I didn't. And I'd already placed some of the buildings, so I didn't have room. This is just an extra little offset guest section, which I have a couple of these in this park, which I think they help really complete it and make the park feel bigger than it is, because this is on quite a small island, and actually while building this, I was running out of space. I did not have nearly as much space as I thought, and I'm going to have to maybe cut out a couple builds that I wanted to do, since it's quite a small island, and the main centerpiece that we're going to do in a couple episodes is going to take a ton of room. And I don't even know if we're going to have room for it because this episode went way farther than I thought. This build was actually like 4 hours long, which was surprising because it's not actually huge. Oh, I forgot to decorate this. Anyways, I put the BIOS and control center there because it's a big building that fills up space, but it's also really tall. Because when I placed the zipline, there was nothing else very tall in the park. So those sort of things filled it in. Here we have our pavilion where you can view our main habitat that we have for this episode, where we have our 4 Diplodocus and our Parasaurolophus lux. These redwoods I put here as they're like fake trees, and I was thinking the Diplodocus could reach their necks over and eat from them, but I realized that they're actually way too short to do that. Just pretend they can. Maybe you're wondering what these are, these random decorations here. These are supposed to be food trucks. Use your imagination and imagine that side is open, and I think it's a pretty cool idea to have this pavilion here for the guests to eat, because in the last episode we had the breakfast center right next to there, and now we have the that there. Anyway, so I'm gonna try to go through this quickly. Next episode should be a normal build, but while I'm here, I'm gonna go ahead and put some trees here. I had the hatchery right there. So yeah, you can see this habitat that I think turned out pretty good, especially considering I tried to not use individually placeable trees too much because frame rate. But I have this separated section because in case they don't want to be like in the public view the whole time, there is still one way to view them. This little fence right here on top of the hill that lets you see in. We of course have the research outpost that we're going to have all over the park that lets you look through, and the monorail that's really more for the view than the transport because it's not a long distance. But yeah, anyways, here you get a decent view of what we have. I think this is a pretty nice looking habitat and a decent build. You can see how the monorail's pretty short. I think there's still some more decoration work that needs to be done here, but I'll do that before the next episode. You can see over in the distance, I went ahead and placed down our lagoons, amphitheater, and aviary biodome that I'm going to use in the next episodes. I had to change the shape of the island a little bit to have room. Like I said, I was running out of space, but I can't expand it much more because the edge of the map. Even on the square map, the island's longer than it is wide, if you see what I mean. Here's the night view, so you can see the Parasaurolophus lux, which look as awesome as always. Unfortunately, it takes a long time to build parks, so I feel like there's a lot of species that go underappreciated since we just aren't able to build that many parks since they've become so detailed. But yeah, sorry about the lack of the build. Here you can just see an overview. There should be another regular episode next week, maybe, if not the following week. And tell me what you think I should put in that little exhibit. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed.